Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the fourth and final video for this particular segment where we take a look at all of the different Big Rubber Guy figures from Series 13. And during the conclusion of each video, I could have gone on Google and found out what the exact release of this was. Is it Series 13? Is it Series 14? I honestly don't know. I'm calling it Series 13. I've been calling it Series 13 in all three videos, so I'm going to continue to do so in this video. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But at least you'll know what series it is, because I will definitely put the correct series in the title. But today we're going to look at... Actually, is this... She might be. I think this might be. I think this could be the very first female release among the Major Bendy's Big Rubber Guys collection in regards to Missy Hyatt. So right off the bat, I love the big bouncy hair and everything. So that they did that fantastically. But I'm looking at the back of the card. Yeah, I think it is. I think this was the very first release. Now they do have a Shotsky coming in Series 14, Series 15, something like that. Now that one's probably gonna be due out by Christmas, and I think they got a couple other series that are supposed to be due out around May. So over the next 6-7 months, you're probably gonna have like an additional 3 series released from the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast to include the Series 12 Demolition characters. So I hate that they don't. If this is Series 13 right here, like, why don't they put Series 12 Demolition in there? That's why they're making these cards so confusing. I used to love the card backs and the layout, but with all these extra exclusives and whatnot, it's not doing a good job helping the buyer or the collector. But you know what? I didn't have LGNs as a kid growing up, right? And I only had about 17 Hasbro figures, so even the ones I did have, I didn't know what series those came from. So when I first started collecting, it took me a while to kind of focus on each character, each figure, and be able to tell you exactly what series, what year it was released. So we're still relatively early. I mean, I've been collecting these Big Rubber Guys for what, 2-3 years now, something like that. And oh yeah, same thing with this figure, guys. If you're trying to keep these bubbles as pristine as possible because you want to bring them back to MOC later on, you may not be able to do so well, because these things are really stuck in each of the bubbles. Rick Martel, you really had to put pressure to get him out of there. Tully Blanchard, again, was almost impossible. You really had to damage the bubble to get him out. Luckily, Arn Anderson just popped right out, so that was fine. But Missy Hyatt, this was another one that really stuck in there. All right, let me see the accessory. All right. All right, so it does stick. I mean, not the greatest. I mean, that last one, the last dip, it fell out. But for the most part, it was holding in there pretty tight. So it's okay. It's not the worst ever. Oh, man, I'm looking at this, and this is LJN Elizabeth meets Adrian Adonis. I know, kind of like a funny, because, you know, Adrian Adonis, like, he has, you know, one arm out like so, and the other arm's out like this, right? So you look at Missy Hyatt, she's basically doing the same thing, right? And of course, both Elizabeth and Adrian Adonis from LJN, they both kind of have like that leg kicked out to the side a little bit. So if you try to go like David Garland on Etsy, 4.3D Creations, and get yourself a Big Rubber Guy stand for Missy Hyatt, it may not work. And I probably wouldn't give the best recommendation for that, because, like I said, I still use the Amazon Kaiser dowel stands for the Elizabeth, and then I kind of like insert it into the David Garland stands, because the Elizabeth LJN stand just doesn't work. And it has everything to do with the way that the feet are situated, right? And the way that it's kind of curved out. So it doesn't have the best stance. Oddly enough, I got this figure standing up right now, and I'm not seeing any issue. It looks like she's standing beautifully. But, so, not a but, it's a so. If that's the case, you may not need a stand for this one. But if you are thinking about getting that Elizabeth stand, my recommendation, get you one of those metal dowel stands from Amazon that you stick it into the top, and then you can lower it so you have it anywhere around the top, the waist, wherever you want to put it, right? And those will not fall over. So some of the other stands, yeah, sure, you could go if you for the more fancier ones if you'd like. I'm never against it. I own every one of them, but that Elizabeth one, like I said, didn't really serve a purpose as far as usefulness. But let's talk back about this darn figure. What am I talking about? Hair. I like the hair a lot. Like I like the hair a lot in the picture, but like it really has a lot of good solid texture to it, right? Nice and wavy. I mean, you can't like move your finger underneath the hair or anything like that. Sometimes, like British Bulldog Customs, you get underneath the dreadlocks to kind of like move it up and whatnot. It's perfectly fine. He's got like a little cloth blouse here, so I could consider that to be an accessory. It looks like it does come to, yeah, it does have a little, so you could actually remove it. Turn her into a wrestler if you want. If you want her to box Elizabeth in a match. The microphone is pretty generic. It doesn't have any labels or anything on it. So, no labels, no WWF or anything like that. I mean, it would be nice if the handle was a little bit thicker because when you stick it into the hand, it's nice and tight. But like I said, you turn it upside down, it's not going anywhere. And that's what's most important. Like, you really have to bang this stuff down. I just saw that gesture on the phone before I started, and I'm like, man, you're about to get ridiculed in the comments section. That's fine. You guys know, man, I am not soft skinned, so if somebody comes out with a hilarious joke, I'm gonna laugh my butt off at it. Oh god, I'm so stupid. Alright, so she's got paint on the nails. She's got a beautiful watch on. I like that. And the thinness of the legs, the shoes, like I said, it just feels like like an Elizabeth L. Jane figure. So I like the figure a lot. And being the very first release of a female wrestler in this line, I mean, that's nice. I mean, we all talk about Elizabeth. We all talk about Sherry Martel or, Chyna, which is one of my favorites. I definitely want to see a Chyna figure. And maybe we don't have to wait for XOX Customs to create one, sometime down the road, 2 years from now. Maybe we get those figures from Big Rubber Guys. Maybe Latuni can look into it possibly. But I think Big Rubber Guys are the ones to go, and they will most likely get stuff like that out if they can, if they have the ability to. So, Missy Hyatt is the fourth and final release. So tell me, Missy Hyatt, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Rick Martel. Who do you guys have as your absolute favorite? If I can get these lined up. Who is your absolute favorite from this lineup? Like I've been saying, I thought Rick Martel, he was the first one I opened because he was the one I was most excited about. So I did say that he was the number one best until I started reviewing each figure, and I'm like, you know what? When I did the video number 2 with Tully Blanchard, I thought he might have taken over. There's definitely more. No, actually, I can't say there's more because he really only has 2 blue schemes. Where this has, yeah, I gotta go with Tully Blanchard on this one. I gotta say Tully is number 1. I'll say Rick Martel number 2, Arn number 3, and Missy Hyatt number 4. No shade to Missy Hyatt. It's a great figure. But it's still a sort of Barbie doll figure. It's not an actual wrestling figure. They did the same thing to Elizabeth. Yeah, she was a manager, but it was a glorified Barbie doll. that you sold to boys in the 1980s, right? So this to me is just a glorified Barbie doll. Great piece, but other than display, I mean, if you're an adult, you're passing it down to your kids. I mean, you're going to have your son play with that. I mean, what is she going to do? She's going to be like an in-ring announcer, maybe a commentator or something, or maybe use her as a manager type. Again, I don't know. I don't know how kids today would use a figure like that. It's just display for me, and it's artwork, and it's something to showcase, kind of like come back down here, look around, see the history of this museum that I've created, and just have a lot of enjoyment, bring back a lot of memories for a lot of these things, a lot of these characters, and a lot of new characters I really didn't know about prior to collecting, like a lot of these AEW collect figures. I mean, outside of Dustin Rhodes, man, Sting, Chris Jericho, I mean, there are very few characters from AEW that I could look at and be like, yeah, I know who that is. Dustin Rhodes, man, I know Cody Rhodes through the Rhodes family. So, obviously, but so getting some of these figures, like a Missy Hyatt, like, okay, oh, that's fun. I want to see if Big Rubber Guys ever does like a strictly female release one day. Like, I would probably go with someone like, obviously, China. I've already said it a million times. I don't care who makes it. I want a China. I think she's amazing. She's got to be more than this, okay? You got to make her a legitimate wrestling figure. Like, I wouldn't mind a China with this type of body sculpt. Fighting pose, something like that, right? I mean, who else goes in that list of 4 figures? Do you go Hall of Fame worthy characters like Elizabeth, like a Sherry Martel, who don't have LJNs in themselves? Okay, maybe. You go for someone like Trish Stratus or Lita, someone like that, right? Do you go more modern with like someone like an Alexa Bliss or Bailey? That Baszler chick that always looks so darn crazy every time she wrestles. But she's a lot of fun and a powerhouse. So, I mean, you definitely have plenty of options for future female releases. But like, I think if they came back with their next series, if you can add Elizabeth, sure. Add a Sherry Martel, great. I think those two would be fun, but I think a Gorilla Monsoon and maybe an updated Jean would probably fit in that. So, like I said, there's options. I've definitely talked a whole lot more at the end of this video than I wanted to, guys, so I am going to end it here. But as always, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, and I'll talk to you in the comments and see you all in the next video. And please be sure to check out tomorrow's LJN video because that question needs to be answered. Take care, everybody.